Go live. Go live. Share your referral link. I don't, refer these. No, just kidding. We're going to wait to see. It says there's 2 people in here already. But hold on. I have to wait for this to pop up on the laptop because I have to silence it real quick. No volume. We'll wait for a few other people maybe to pop in. I'm not expecting a lot of people because it is late Monday night. But if you are here, let me know if you can hear me. There's only one watching now. We lost somebody. We lost somebody. Oh, snap. Okay. Yeah, I see the bottom. Okay. Show on stage. Allie is in the house. What is up? How are you doing? Thank you for stopping by. Yeah, I wasn't expecting a lot of people to be up late at night, but it's Monday nights. Sunday and Monday nights are my only nights off. So I was thinking if any time to show off some Spirit Halloween scores and just hang out, it would be now. How are you doing today? Says we have 3 watching now. No, I do not want to play live on TV. Cut. I don't know what the hell that was. I don't know what that was. I was trying to play live on TV. I don't know what that was. Anthony, what's up, Anthony? Thanks for stopping by. Got some Coors Light tonight. Some Coors Light. That's what we're sipping on. Hanging out for the night off. Like I said, just wanted to chill tonight. Just a little one, not too long. Probably just maybe like an hour at the most, if that. Got some stuff from Spirit Halloween and got the new Fantas. I got all the new Fantas. We got the Five Nights at Freddy's. We got the strawberry black phone one, the Chucky Punch. The only one I didn't score in the can was the pineapple Michael Myers one. I got that one in the bottle. Oh, man. I'm doing well, Anthony. I'm just watching you on the big TV. Oh, that's awesome. Really? That's cool. I wonder what it's like on the big TV. That's freaking dope. Thank you. I appreciate the support. It's not letting me scroll anymore. Roll it. That's right, Anthony. Roll it. Have you guys seen any new cool horror movies lately? Did you all watch anything new recently? You're still on the hunt for the grabber one? Yeah, I was lucky. We found all the ones in the cans, but like I said, the bottle, the Fanta one, I found the Fanta one, the pineapple one actually at my work. They the delivery for the yellow one came to my work, so I just scored one of them and I kept it. Very tropical. I'm not too into tropical flavors, but I kind of liked the pineapple one, but it still had like a little bit of a coconut flavor, and I'm not too big with coconut. I don't like strawberry, so this one I'm just probably going to literally keep the can. I don't like strawberry, but I'd probably say the orange one and the Chucky Punch are my favorite. These 2 are my favorite. Yeah, as far as me, I haven't really seen any new movies lately, but I finished Wednesday, then season 2. I think it was part 1. I watched all of season 2, part 1, and then I am watching Alien Earth, but we have 2 more episodes left of Alien Earth still. We just saw The Long Walk. Oh, wow. Nice. I heard some good things about that one. I actually heard that was a pretty potent watch, a really good one. For real, yeah, the grabber, he got the short end of the stick with the strawberry. Like, strawberry is one of those flavors, like, as a kid, I remember liking it, but, like, as an adult, I don't like strawberry that much. Nice. Mark Hamill. Oh yeah, Mark Hamill was in it. I noticed that too. I wasn't sure when I saw the trailer. I wasn't sure if that was Mark Hamill just because of how different he looks now as he's gotten older and stuff. But yeah, I was like, dang, that movie looks intense because I saw the trailer for that when we went to see Weapons. That's when I saw the trailer for that. What about Spirit Halloween? Did you guys get to go to Spirit Halloween at all yet? Yeah, we got the cans everywhere. I know pretty soon I'm gonna have to figure out like a more section or like actually figure out like a different thing to have because I got too much stuff now. Or organize it and rotate it out. That way the changes with the seasons. I still have to decorate a little bit for Halloween too. That's right. Let's see. We have the Chucky Fantas and the Michael Myers Fantas in the fridge. Nice. Bum, bum, bam. Yeah, so we did go to Spirit Halloween today. I did scoop up some cool stuff. Let's show off some of it. We did get the ghost face. It's like a hockey version mask, though, like a Jason style version. It's pretty cool, and it's like all dirtied up and everything. It's nice. It doesn't come with the hood, but it's just like a slip-on, like hockey mask style. You know what I mean? So I thought that was pretty cool. It's got a big strap too. The strap on this one is pretty big. What do we think? What do we think? Kind of doesn't fit the face. It's different. It's weird wearing a ghost face mask without the hood. I'm just not used to it without the hood. And then we got this one right here too as well. Let me get in here. Sorry. Scoot over. All right. We also scored that neon Jason mask. The neon Jason one. Gots to get the retro Jason one. This is from I think the video game, the NES video game. It has the blue and the purple colors and stuff like that. And then I got a lot of masks. And then I got this one, which is going to be for my costume because I'm going to be one of the boys from Dark Harvest, which was a horror movie that came out, I believe it was like 2 years ago now, but I really liked it. So I'm going to do a Dark Harvest costume this year with this mask, the greaser like jacket and stuff, and just, grease up my hair and everything, some jeans. Nice, cool little simple one. This one's cool too. I like this one. Yeah. Fits perfect with the gloves. So yeah, scored some cool stuff from Spirit. Let me put this one back here. Bam, bam. Put this one back here too as well, just so they stay legit. And then we also got. Let me grab this too as well. We got the Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. Spirit Halloween is doing these new VHS clamshells, kind of like the old clamshells from when we were kids, but it doesn't have the tape in it. It has a patch, buttons, a decal, and a lanyard for Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. They also had a Halloween 2 one and Killer Clowns from Outer Space, and then I can't remember what the other one was, a Chucky one. I think Chucky was the other one that they had. So I thought they were really cool because, like I said, designed like the clamshells from back in the day when we were kids. I think that's pretty sick. I still have some clamshell VHS tapes. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, this is actually a nice shirt. I like the shirt on this one. It's very soft, and it's got all my favorite slashers on it, pretty much. So it's got all the big dogs on it. Yeah, we got some cool stuff from Spirit, including the Poltergeist plushie. Oh, you got the Poltergeist, the Glenn Funko Pop, the Halloween pumpkin metal wall art. Nice. I was checking out the metal wall art. I was like, damn, or the neons. I was thinking about getting a new neon for my background. The Jeepers Creepers red cup and the ghost face wall art. They had a lot of cool Art the Clown stuff too. I noticed like Art the Clown Terrifier is really popular now, so that stuff was everywhere. Yeah, I scored on the masks this year for real. Like I was very hard not to get any more. Because like for masks, I'm just a sucker for them. I still have my killer clowns. We have Shorty and Jumbo. I got another Jason mask, so that's my third one, and then this new ghost face mask too. So I have a bunch. And then I also got, this wasn't from Spirit, but I got this as well because I love physical media stuff and magazines and movies and stuff. We got this. I picked this up when I was at the store the other day, and this is actually quite a fun read because it gives cool stuff like actual facts about witchcraft and the Salem witch trials, but it also gives you mythological stuff too about the different witches in history and stuff, and goes even into the modern times and how now there's witch TikTok, which I had no idea there was witch TikTok right now, but this magazine goes over all that stuff. So I thought that was pretty cool. I'm always big on magazines, so if I get a chance, like I have a Godzilla one that's about the how Godzilla like came to fruition and from all the way to the 50s, all the way to the modern Godzilla. I got a Star Wars magazine, magazines just like that that I just pick up randomly when I'm at the store. Pokemon, I think I got one for Pokemon too. Yeah, I can't wait for Halloween. Like I said, it's gonna be really cool. This is the best time of the year. We're actually planning a pumpkin patch family trip too because we have like a pumpkin patch near us, and we're gonna do like a big friends and family trip over there. But yeah, I love picking up like stuff like that. Just oh man, so many physical media stuff like that. Like I said, cards, magazines, masks, hats. I'm into collecting a lot of stuff. You'd probably say I'm kind of a hoarder, maybe. No, I'm just kidding. No, I have a lot of awesome collection stuff. The Jason NES mask and the axe are so sick. Yeah. I didn't see the axe there. I guess that might have been sold out because when the one I went to, I didn't see the axe. They just had the mask. But I was like, I'm scooping this up. Ooh, what perfect, awesome. Got our first little question of the day. What have I been watching lately? So I've actually been more on a TV show kick. So I've been watching Wednesday and Alien Earth. I've actually been doing some more of Stranger Things too, kind of re-going into that because we have, I think, the new season for that drops later this in October and November. So that's going to be the final season. So I was kind of revamping on that, remembering that. And then Wednesday, like I said, I finished season 2, part 1. Alien Earth, we still have 2 more episodes left, which tomorrow, no, not tomorrow, Wednesday is when the next episode drops. And then in terms of movies, today I did Harry Potter. I watched Harry Potter, Sorcerer's Stone, and Chamber of Secrets. So a little bit of that keeping, the fall vibe. I love Harry Potter around this time too, either during the spooky season or November. I feel like that's the perfect time to watch Harry Potter stuff. But yeah, a lot of TV shows too I've been binging because I feel like for me at work, when it's kind of slow sometimes on graveyards and at work, it's easier for me to watch TV shows and stuff like that. And then I did watch, oh man, what was this other movie I watched that was on Tubi? But it's not on there anymore because it was one of those movies that got recommended to me by my wife, but it expired in 2 days. It was like, oh, Tubi, like warning you, oh, this one expires in 2 days. It was called Candyland, a pretty intense watch. It was a good movie, a really good movie, but it tackles very intense subject matter, and like it was really good though. It creates a whole world that I just loved being in because the characters were so interesting. So I highly recommend Candyland, but I don't know where you could stream it now because Tubi, like they only had it for those 2 days. And that, like I said, it was like 3 days ago that I watched that, but that was really good. That was a really good movie. That was like a thriller horror movie too. Um, and then, yeah, I did my witch deep dive. So I was watching a lot of witch movies, but now I think I'm going to move on to something else, some other kind of subgenre of horror. I just don't know what I'm going to pick yet. Sorry if that was like a long-winded answer, Anthony. No, just kidding. It was a lot. Like it seemed like it wasn't a lot of stuff I was watching, but it was. Is the writing for the Gen Z characters pretty good in Alien Earth? Sometimes young people in horror films can annoy me. So with Alien Earth, I love it because It's done by Noah Hawley, and I'm a huge fan of the Fargo TV show. So I already knew going into it what kind of writing I was going to be expecting because Noah Hawley's just like the style that he brings and everything. But I love it because it's a TV show made by Alien fans for Alien fans. And I'd like not to come at people who are casual fans. Like I'm sure there are casual Alien fans that could grab onto it too. But there's so many little Easter eggs and nuggets from the other films that are in this show, and just the acting, the subtle line drops. It's really good. There are definitely episodes that are weaker than others, but I would say for me right now, the show's sitting at a solid 8 out of 10. We got 2 more episodes, but right now I'm probably at like an 8 out of 10 on the TV show. So I would highly recommend it. Like I said, maybe wait for the next 2 episodes to come out. That way you and Allie can just binge it, you know what I mean, right away and just go through all the episodes. But yeah, I don't know. Unless you guys want to help me, I don't know what subgenre I should go down to next, because I've done ranking videos for my favorite witch films, vampires, zombie films. I think I did my top 10 or top 20 body horror films before. So it's like, I don't know. I'm kind of in that point where I'm like, not lost, but I'm just in that point where I'm like, what's going to be the next thing that I'm going to kind of tackle and do a few rad movie reviews on, and then do a top 10 list. I'll definitely give Alien Earth a watch then. I'm a big fan of the Fargo show too. Yeah, the Fargo TV show, that show is top tier stuff. I always tell people, like, if they haven't seen it and like people are like, oh, I want a show or I need something to binge, I'm like, you should probably watch Fargo, because that's one of those shows that every season, I think it's almost just as good as the previous season. So I love that show. Bum, bum, bum. And I love these gloves. Oh, I got these too at Spirit. My wife picked these up for me. These help out too when I work at night in the cooler, keeping my hands warm. You could talk about backwoods horror films like Wrong Turn and The Hills Have Eyes. That's a good one too. I've been wanting to, actually, that's a good one, because I've been wanting to have a reason to talk about the Wrong Turn films, like, you know, and go down that. There's a bunch of times where I've put the Wrong Turn films on like a poll, and like none of my fans want me to talk about the Wrong Turn films. They always pick some other franchise for me to talk about. And The Hills Have Eyes is great. That's the original Wes Craven one. Is probably I don't know. It's probably my second favorite of Wes Craven's. It might be, because like The Hills Have Eyes is so good. That first film, I love it. But yeah, that could be a good one. Like, for real, that would be a good one, because like just going down that subgenre, it's, you know, I could watch The Hills Have Eyes. I can watch the remake again and the second one, kind of get that vibe. And the Wrong Turn films, like I said, I've just been kind of looking for a reason to binge them again, because I haven't watched those in like probably since the last one came out, when the 2021 film came out. I think that was the last time that I binged all the Wrong Turn films. I love the remake of Hills Have Eyes too, but it's not my favorite. It isn't my favorite. Like, I do like it a lot, but I'm clear cut like that original one. It's hard to beat that original one for me, just because I love the way Wes Craven filmed it. I just love that style. Like, we won't talk about Wes Craven's The Hills Have Eyes, the second one. That one is not as good as the first one. But yeah, that first one just is so potent for me. And having the 4K from Arrow Video, it's just, oh, I love that one. The second Hills Have Eyes, I was like, that remake, that second one, I was all, it was a little wish-washy. I was like mixed on that one, but I do like the remake a lot. I'm trying to think. Well, I guess it wouldn't count as backwoods, right? Would House of Wax, the remake, count? Probably not, right? Because it's like, it's not technically woods, even though it's like a made up town. That's a different one. That's a made up town, House of Wax type thing. That is a good movie though. I really did like the remake to House of Wax. Um, there's got to be some other ones too we could look up. There was one that I saw. I always come across a poster for, and I forget the name of it, but I think it is a backwoods horror movie too. But I can't. It's like the poster is like people getting out of a car, like they're pulling up to like a cabin or like a place at an end of a street, and that's like the poster. But I can't remember the title of the movie. I want to meet Michael Berryman though from The Hills Have Eyes. Like I want to meet him so much. I've heard Michael Berryman is like amazing. Oh no, I don't know what I just did. Do not do that. Oh my god, I made it bigger. Sorry, I messed up something on my laptop. I made it bigger. But thank you for hanging out with me, you guys. It's been awesome for real. Like I said, especially on Monday nights, because Monday nights are always probably like some of the hardest times to get people to come on live because the weekdays and everything. Have you all decorated yet, Anthony and Allie? Have you guys decorated for your house yet at all for spooky season? What movies are you excited to see next? So, Anthony, I still have so far, yes, they still haven't hit yet. My two most anticipated. Oh, we got a public safety warning. Sorry, that was something on my phone. But yeah, so there's two films that still are my most anticipated of this year, and they haven't come out yet. And one of them is Predator Badlands, which I think comes out in November. And then we have the Guillermo del Toro Frankenstein film. Those are my two most anticipated still for the year. And in terms of what I'm going to watch next, I think I'm going to watch Bring Her Back. I still have yet to see that one, and I've heard a lot of really good things about Bring Her Back. So, and I think that one's already streaming. I think you could stream that one, so that one's easy. So that'll probably be the next movie I see. But yeah, definitely Predator Badlands and Frankenstein are my two most anticipated. I am excited for Black Phone 2. I was a little mixed on the first film. I didn't love it, and I feel like Black Phone 2, I might like Black Phone 2 better than the first one. Plus, I'm a sequel whore. Most people know that about me when they come to my channel. I'm always one of those people that champions sequels. Target has some of the best Halloween decorations this year. They got all this cool retro stuff this year. Very affordable decorations that look awesome. Nice. I'll have to check them out, especially if it's like those retro, like you said, old school ones that like you just remember from the 90s and the 80s. You know what I mean? We got a lot. We always go with like a pumpkin patch theme. My house, like I kind of do little sections. So I typically have a graveyard section where we'll do tombstones and like gates and stuff, and then we do a pumpkin patch section, and then I have like a boneyard. I guess we have like dead animals and like bones and skeletons and stuff that we could hang and everything from the certain area by our front, like porch area kind of thing. So we kind of do little sections throughout the front yard and stuff, and you kind of walk through it almost like a thing. So I might change it up a little this year. I'll see. I've pulled the decorations out, some of them from the shed, but I haven't started decorating yet. Boom, boom, boom. Black Phone 2 looks dope as hell. I love the grainy filter. I love that grainy filter. Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be exciting because I think this is going to be just a character that Ethan Hawke's going to really sink his teeth into, and is going to get to do some crazy shit. You know what I mean? Like the grabber. That was kind of one of my problems with the first film, is I wanted so much more of the grabber, and it's going to be cool because we're going to get more of his character in Black Phone 2. Definitely leaning more into the Freddy Krueger type thing. You know what I mean? Where it's like he can still haunt you from the dead. So it definitely has a Freddy Krueger type feel to it. We have VHS Halloween coming out too. I'm very excited for that. I think that drops in the first week of October, VHS Halloween. So that's going to be pretty cool too. Okay, thanks. Thank you. I love hearing that. See, when people tell me those things, like I love the fact that when a movie can stay with you, like the fact that you say that, Anthony, and you're like, it stayed for you for weeks after, even though it is a depressing film. That kind of sucks though when they are that hard to watch because you're not going to return to it a lot. But that I love movies that stay with you, that make you think about them or you won't forget them. Like there's some movies that I've only seen once and I remember almost every scene because of how freaking intense or how, traumatized I was after it or something. So yeah, there's like stuff like Irreversible or Martyrs, Funny Games, um, Girl Next Door. I always bring that one up, but that's the one that Jack Ketchum, the one that's based off the Jack Ketchum book, not the Emil Hirsch, Alicia Cuthbert comedy. Yeah, VHS Halloween for real. Like that one, that's a franchise that I think for me, they only have one bad film so far for me. In my opinion, the VHS franchise only has one bad film. So I'm very excited for that next one. They have a chance to do some special stuff because, like I said, it's going to be all stories that are centered around Halloween. Oh, another movie I watched actually, the tape, your emojis just reminded me of that. Where there's the WNUF Halloween special. It's streaming on Shudder. I love that thing, that WNUF Halloween special. It's like, it's not necessarily like a movie. It's more like a TV broadcast, television broadcast, or like a found footage type film. But I like the fact that they made all the retro commercials. They did all the freaking aesthetics, and it looks like I said, an old '90s television newscast. What's a film that hits for me in the feels every time? Oof, damn, that's a good question. Are you talking about non-horror? Could it be non-horror? Like, well, this one technically it's like a fantasy horror film. Practical Magic. I just did my witch ranking, and I talked about Practical Magic, and that's one for me that I still get the feels over that one. That one there's still moments like when Sandra Bullock comes in begging the ants to bring her husband back to life because she loved him so much and she doesn't care what he comes back as long as he comes back. Like that moment, sometimes I get a little emotional about that moment. um, I'm trying to think another good potent one. There's a movie called Possessor, which is it's a Brendan Cronenberg film, and the subject matter is very intense. And it's a film that, like, when I watch it, it's kind of like an event, and so I have to prepare myself because I know the journey I'm going to go on with that film. um, Homeward Bound is a classic from a kid era. If you're talking about kid feels and you're watching something that really gets you emotional, but I think it's because it deals with, like I said, dogs and cats. Homeward Bound is like a classic one from being a kid that always hit me. Give a non-horror one too. Practical Magic is a great answer. Yes, it is. Yeah, Practical Magic's good, dude. Like for real. Like it's just, I will never ever not love that film, and I'm a little scared that they're doing a second movie. They just wrapped filming on a second film for that, so I'm a little nervous. They did bring Nicole Kidman and Sandra Bullock back, but I'm very nervous because I'm like, what other story could we tell? But yeah, I would say non-horror. It's Homeward Bound. It always gets me, dog. Or Dragon, a Bruce Lee story, because I love Bruce Lee so much. And Dragon, a Bruce Lee story, is based on his life movie. And just hearing some of the stuff and the excerpts from his wife on comments about Bruce Lee and how much she loved him and how amazing he was and what he did in such a short period of time. Dragon, a Bruce Lee story, is a very good one that hits me in the heart every time. Yeah, Possessor is excellent, bro. The visuals in the movie are freaking badass, dude. Like for real, like that movie. I was so happy when Brendan put that out, and he's one of those guys that I just want so many more films from him. But you can tell he takes his time. He's going to be one of those directors that's kind of like Quentin Tarantino. Like he'll take years and years to kind of work on an idea in a film, because Possessor came out, or Antiviral was his first film. Then he did Possessor, and then he did Infinity Pool, and there's like a 5 or 6 year gap between all of those films. Great question, by the way, Anthony. Great question. Thank you for asking. That's always cool. Like I said, movies that hit you like in the feels, that's when you know. That's why I like cinema. My favorite cinema experiences are the movies that just are able to pull emotions out of you, even if it's not crying, even if it's not, you're not feeling like that, you're just laughing uncontrollably, or you're very excited on the edge of your seat. When movies can do that, it's just boom. Have you ever seen Unleashed? Jet Li and Morgan Freeman. It's another martial arts film. Yeah. Oh, dude. Jet Li like was the shit. Like people don't understand. Like he kind of, it sucks because he kind of vanished, but I think he just knew he just didn't want to do movies anymore. Like Jet Li had his time, and he put out all these amazing myth films, like The One, Kiss of the Dragon, Unleashed, and he was coming out with a lot of these cool martial arts films, and then Jet Li just vanished into the ether, and I'm like, damn, man, I miss him. There are some days where I miss Jet Li because I'm like, he even did a movie with Jason Statham called War. Well, and they were in The One together. Jason Statham and Jet Li were in The One, and then they also did a movie called War together. That wasn't as good. That one wasn't as good. I wanted that to be like the great Jet Li send off, Jet Li versus Jason Statham and War, and it wasn't a great send off. But yeah, Bruce Lee is one of my favorites in terms of martial arts. I love Jet Li. Tony Jaa is really good too. There was another guy too that did movies back in the day. I can't remember his name, forgive me, but he did the One Arm Boxer series. There's a series of martial arts films from the late 70s, I believe, early 80s, and it's about a one arm boxer. Really good. All right. What are some of your favorite Halloween watches? So my top two that are pretty much guaranteed every year, like I think over the last 5 years, I think for real, over the last 5 years, I've watched these films every year, and that's Night of the Demons and Jason Lives. So I always get Friday the 13th Part 6 in there, Jason Lives, which is typically my start off movie. Usually, if I'm not watching like Simpsons Treehouse of Horror with the kids, like getting them up for school, I'll be watching Jason Lives. That's usually my movie that starts out my day. And then sometime at Halloween night, I just love to end my Halloween night with Night of the Demons. That original film, I think still to this day has the best Halloween atmosphere. I freaking love Night of the Demons. I love the score, the theme, the music, by David S. Tenney, and then Kevin, the brother who directed the film. Like they do a fantastic job. They're such a great pairing, and I love Night of the Demons 2 as well, and even the third film. The remake, I'm a little mixed on. I've never been big on the remake of Night of the Demons, but that original film just oozes Halloween atmosphere. So those are probably my two must watches. And then, yeah, Treehouse of Horrors, I do watch a lot of that too, because when I'm with the kids, I'm usually watching Scooby-Doo or Treehouse of Horror, and that's kind of a routine thing for Halloween as well. Treehouse of Horror is so much fun. I need to rewatch some of those. Yeah, they're good, man. There's a lot of good callbacks, like the Blob one. I love when Homer becomes the Blob and just starts eating everything. Like that is such a good episode. And Dr. Phil tries to confront him about his eating habits and his obesity, and then he just eats him. Like, it's hilarious. There's so many good ones. The Poltergeist episode, there's one that they do like a Poltergeist short. So the Treehouse of Horrors is just so smart. The Simpsons kind of got a little worse. Like over the last 5 years, I would say they're not as good. Like I would say the last 5 years, they've kind of dipped a little bit in quality in terms of the Treehouse of Horror. But those first like 18 years, fantastic stuff. My phone keeps leaning. There we go. We'll lean like that. I'm trying to get more of the neons in there. Oh, here we go. Another question. Thank you. Which film do you love, but it's a very difficult watch due to its subject matter? So, oh man, I would say there's some. Oh, this has to be a film that I've watched multiple times because, like I said, there's films that I've watched that are very dark that I've never really returned to and stuff like that, but they stick with you. Oh man, I would say, to be honest, I'd probably have to go with this because this one I own the original, I own the remake, and I've seen this film a lot actually, and it's The Last House on the Left. I think The Last House on the Left is a good film, and maybe it's because at that time when I was collecting movies as a kid and we were like teens, me and my friends being addicted to horror films, when you're 12 and people tell you about the story of Last House on the Left and the film and what it is and what kind of movie it is, you're just enamored with the whole aura and the vibe of that film. And like I said, it's a rough watch. It's so, like I said, I have friends who are horror fans who can't watch that film because of the subject matter and the intense essay and stuff and the scenes that go on in that film. But The Last House on the Left, I love the original. I love the remake, and those are films that I own, so I go back to those ones. Um, so that's probably the most difficult watches due to subject matter that I return to most often. Because there's other ones like that Jack Ketchum Girl Next Door movie. I've only watched that once and have never gone back to it. But I gave that film a 9 out of 10. But I've never gone back to it because it was so emotionally gut wrenching to watch that film. Irreversible is another one, which I've only seen that twice. I watched Irreversible twice, and that's another one that has a very intense scene in the middle of it that takes about 10 minutes, and it's probably the longest essay scene I've ever seen. And yeah, that one's a rough watch too. But I like films that challenge me. I was talking to my wife about this just today earlier. That I was like, I just like films that challenge me, films that are like, get an emotional reaction out of you, even if it's something like said gut wrenching or like, you're like, oh, you're like traumatized, or you're like, should I be watching this? Like, you're looking around and you're like, I don't know if I should be watching this. But yeah, there's a lot of crazy movies out there. But I understand people, like said, some people aren't into that stuff. Not everybody can watch those films, and that's why I love talking to people in the horror community because there's people that love just the lighthearted stuff, or there's people that love horror comedy, or there's people that love the more intense stuff like we all do and everything. Or, me, I just love experiencing every film at least once. Like I want to give every film a fair shot and watch it at least once. What are some of your favorite films in the last few years, or of the last few years? Sorry, if I could read, I read wrong all the time. So, some of my favorite films of the last few years, I would probably say X is definitely one of them. X is always one that comes to mind. I love Pearl as well, and Maxine. So, that whole X trilogy, I think, was fantastic. I love Ty West. Hereditary was one of my favorite recent watches, like when I watched that one in the last few years, because Hereditary was one that just stuck with me. I'm trying to think. Alien Romulus, I was really big on that. A lot of people didn't love Alien Romulus because they thought it was just nostalgia and member berries and stuff, but I loved Alien Romulus. Like I got an emotional experience watching that film in the theaters. Um, and let's see, I'm trying to think of some other ones. Possessor. I love Brennan Cronenberg, so Possessor was one of my favorites too. So yeah, there's been some good ones. The Sadness. I just recently got The Sadness, that 4K, and whew, that film was potent. That's a strong film right there. So those are sometimes like more my horror films, like when I want intense ones like Possessor and The Sadness. That's where I go, where I like those intense ones that are like hardcore to watch. But then there's other ones like more recent ones like Barbarian. I wasn't that big on Barbarian. I like Weapons better. I did like his second movie better. Um, what's another one I wasn't that big on this recently? Long Legs. I wasn't that big on Long Legs, and that was one that I have to watch a second time. I do have to watch that a second time to see how I feel about it again. And then I'm trying to think. I saw the TV Glow. That was one that a few of my friends and a lot of people in my community, they loved it. And that was one that I didn't. I liked it, but I didn't love it. And it was, to me, not a horror film, but I understand why some people consider that a horror film. You also prefer Weapons over Barbarian. Cool. Yeah, see, Barbarian, I was very mixed on that one. And I feel like Weapons, you can tell Kreger learned so much more already, and like by his second film. And you can see how it's like it's perfecting even more. So I feel like by the time we get his next film, which I think is supposed to be a Resident Evil film, it's his style is going to be even more refined and more fine tuned. So, but yeah, there's like I said, that it's weird. I love it because horror is like popping right now in terms of TV shows, movies, like everything. It's just really, really intense out there in everybody's face, and it's making a lot of money. So I love the fact that horror is everywhere right now. I saw the TV Glow was an extremely tough watch, lots of emotions. See, I that's what I got, Anthony. A lot of my friends and you, like said, people said that it hit them in such a way because it just called back to a certain time or it spoke to them in a certain way. And I love that. Like I said, I love when movies can do that. It's just it didn't I like the aesthetic of it. I liked the way it looked and the aesthetic, but there was just something else more I wanted. But I'm not sure yet because, like I said, that's another film, another film I need to give a second watch to. Kind of like Long Legs, I need to watch both of those again just to see how I feel about them on a second watch. Because sometimes when you give a film a second watch and you already know where it's going, you're more comfortable with the destination and you're able to just enjoy the acting and the vibes of the film instead of focusing on like I'm trying to figure this out. But yeah, like films that get me, that it's like one that's more emotional because it ties to me as a person. But I love watching this film was the Evil Dead 2013 film, and that's because we have Mia in there, and she's an addict or an ex-addict, and that's a big part of the film is that she's dealing with her addiction and having to fight that and stuff like that. And that's one film that calls close to home for me because of my battles and things that I've gone through with addiction and stuff. So watching Evil Dead 2013, I get emotionally invested in the characters because I care about that story and I know what she's going through. So that's a good one too that I don't cry over, but like I said, I get emotionally invested in Evil Dead 2013. I think I saw the TV Glow. It has many deeper layers. I don't quite understand everything about it, but it was a very great watch, and I would also like to deep dive on it. Yeah, see, that's one for real. Like, definitely deserves a second watch because, like I said, there is many, like you were saying, many layers or things that are trying to be said in that film, and I think that's why maybe that first watch I just was trying too hard to figure it out. And like I said, I wanted a little bit more horror. But when you think about the concept and the eventual destination of our lead character, it is kind of horrific when you think about it in that context. But yeah, it's been really fun chilling with you guys. Like I said, hanging out. It's been really cool. Like I said, just vibing, chilling out, talking some horror, fall season, this is the perfect time, and I want to live stream more, but it's very hard sometimes when it comes to my time working 40 hours a week, 45 hours a week sometimes, and the kids and just family time, and I want time to also watch wrestling and watch my sports, and Ooh, great question. Found footage question. Favorite found footage films. I actually love this question because I'm not big on found footage. So a lot of my answers aren't the most popular ones, which is kind of cool because, like I said, I've never been big on found footage. That was a subgenre of horror that I was very lacking in terms of my knowledge. And it was 2 years ago on the channel, I did a found footage month where I just reviewed a bunch of them. And I think in like 4 or 5 days, I watched like 34 found footage films. It was crazy. But my favorites are Alone with Her, which stars Colin Hanks, Tom Hanks' son. Very tough watch, Alone with Her. I also love Spree. That's a great one. That's on Hulu. Spree is a great found footage film. And then I also love, like I said, the VHS films. So specifically, I believe it's the first VHS film, and then it was the 80s one, the one that was set in the 80s. Those two are my favorites. And then if I had to pick a fifth, a really good one is Incantation. That was on Netflix, I believe, a few years ago. That's a really good one that I loved. But I've never been big on the Blair Witch Project. I liked Ghost Watch better than that. Ghost Watch is an old school British found footage film that I like better than that. Um, I'm trying to think of some other stuff that's usually more popular ones, but I just never really grabbed into those ones. One Cut of the Dead is a really good found footage zombie film. I love that. Yeah, thanks, brother. Yeah, for real. Like, I try not to pressure myself too much when it comes to the channel. Like I said, I never wanted the channel to be something that I worry about or causes stress. This is more of, like I said, I want it to be a relief or something I chill or like vibing with or sharing awesome movies or physical media with you guys. So it's always something that I want to treat in a more lighthearted way. I don't want it to feel like a job or feel taxing. But yeah, found footage is one of those subgenres that, yeah, I just for years and years was lacking in my knowledge. And Paranormal Activity, that's the other franchise. I don't like any of those. So I watched a bunch of those, and those movies just freaking blend together. I was like, in a bad way for me, where I'm like, dude, I don't even remember what the fuck, or did I watch this one? But I did. I've watched all the Paranormal Activities before, but they blend together, and I'm like, what the? And yeah, Blair Witch, I was never big with. I'll have to check out Incantation and Alone with Her. Yeah, great, dude. I highly recommend it. So, Incantation is on Netflix, and I believe Alone with Her, I either found that on Tubi or Shutter. I can't remember where I found that, but it was, like I said, it was a few years ago when I found that film, and whoa, man, that one hit me. But yeah, I definitely recommend Incantation too. It plays with the found footage style a little bit, like it semi breaks the rules here and there with certain things, but Incantation is a very good one. But yeah, probably just tonight, like I said, after this live stream, just vibe out a little bit. I might watch a little bit of horror TV shows or watch something to pass out. And then me and my wife got an Arizona trip tomorrow. We got a trip to Arizona tomorrow to do real quick. We're gonna go there and come back in one day. So like that's gonna be a little fun trip, just something for us and everything. And then that's it. Probably go back to work. I work tomorrow night, so go back to work tomorrow night and you know find out something else to watch because these days I work graveyards at a gas station and it's been like just kind of hectic with our schedule and then like people quitting and stuff and losing help. So our hours are all out of whack over there. But yeah, I don't know what I'm watching. Like I said, maybe vibe out something aesthetic wise. I might watch Elvira. You know what? To be honest, because Elvira missed just because I picked up this little VHS clamshell. I might pop in my Arrow video Elvira Mistress of the Dark. I think I have the Blu-ray for that. I don't think I have the 4K. I think I have a Blu-ray for that. But yeah, so Arizona, yeah, it's cool. It's cool because Arizona is just a cool, like, real quick trip. Like, it's right there. You know what I mean? Right across the border. We're not that far from the border of Arizona, to be honest. It's only like 3 hours. So yeah, a little day trip and then come back and everything. So I will be getting some sleep after this, resting and stuff. But I appreciate Allie, Anthony, you guys hanging out with me, like vibing, chilling. Also, anybody else who watches after this, the live stream, like the live stream, I greatly appreciate it, and share all that jazz. It greatly helps out the channel. And stay tuned, guys, because like I said, I'm going to be having other videos coming. Like once I decide, like I said, for backwoods horror, I might be making a list. Maybe right now when I'm watching a video or watching something, I might be running through on my phone, making a list of some backwoods horror films to start binging and stuff like that. So thank you, Anthony and Allie, for hanging out with me. I greatly appreciate it. I hope you guys have an awesome week, and I'll talk to you all later, okay? For real, brother. Rock on. Thank you so much. For real. You guys made it a great live stream. It wouldn't be such a great live stream unless y'all didn't stop by. So I greatly appreciate it. Laters.